Now, because I know you care about your pal Jason at 4, you want to know how the surgery went. So today's Friday the 17th. Yesterday the 16th, Thursday, I went into foot surgery. See if we can give you a little glimpse of this little thing I gotta wear. And if this is my pinky toe, then look at that. My shirt is becoming a green screen. If this is my pinky toe, and here's a little knuckle where it bends, it was hurting right in here, kind of between these two toes, but mostly touching the pinky knuckle thing here. So they did a little incision, from what I understand, all the way up, straight up like this, and the nerve is like a Y. So technically the nerve looks like this, you know. It's got like a fork. And they snip it back here, and then they snip it here and here. I haven't had a chance to talk to the doctor yet. By the time I woke up, she had other stuff, surgeries and things she was doing. But I go in to see her on Tuesday to find out exactly what they did. Did they cut the entire nerve out or just that little branch, you know, to the toe? I'm not sure. But I'm waiting to take pain pills, which they gave me a prescription for some that are, you know, somewhat potent. And ever since I got back yesterday, I literally walked, you know, with my hand on someone's shoulder to the car. And then by the time I got to the house, I was like, man, I can walk on my foot. I'm gonna use the heel, keep pressure off the front part of it. But I walked in, no pain. Well, I'm thinking pain medicine's, you know, gonna wear off whatever they put in me over there, you know, numbed up my foot. So got home, hours went by, no pain. A slight itch where the stitches are, which is obviously common. And I didn't scratch it, I just leave it alone. So I went to bed that night. My wife put my pills next to my little lamp just in case. Nothing. Woke up, same as yesterday. No pain, no nothing. So I'm like, man, that's crazy. So the good news is that it apparently seems that it has gone well. My pinky toe right now is completely numb. And from what I understand, that is a very common side effect of when you cut that nerve out. That you can't feel that anymore. It's just numb. There's no more anything there. So like if I stepped on a splinter right on my pinky toe, I probably won't know it from now on. But anything's better than what I've been dealing with since 2009, sometime in mid-2009 when this injury first happened. And it would come and go and come back and go. I tried the alcohol injection shots, which supposedly kills off the nerve rather than have you cut into the foot to do it. And that helped significantly, but it would always come back. So I said, that's it. It's time to do this. So I want to read you the exact email I got from Cliff High Webbot owner. Because the other day I told you that he said he was going through some data. And me, by my first name and last name, which again, I have a very uncommon last name. Extremely uncommon. I think there's one other person in the state of Florida that has my last name. And it's not really related to me. Not really. They're not related to me. And I think they've already passed on. I was looking up something one day and this person's name came up. They're deceased, an old man. So he says there's a reference to me in the coming Webbot data he's ciphering through to put in the report. Now, I don't think he's going to put my name in the report because that's not newsworthy. He just happened to come across it, and since me and him, you know, kind of online friends, whatever you want to call it, he said, hey, let me send this to you. Take it for what it is. So his exact email to me, the first one I got, it says, is there a subject on it? Dude, take care. Going through some data in doing interpretation for the next Webbot report. Reference to you in the immediate past. Having narrowly missed a nasty accident in your work. That's it. So that's all I got. That little sentence. That's it. And he's got the quotes like he always does, little brackets. So, reference to me, because the Webbot report is coming out later, soon, but later, it's going to be a reference to the immediate past. So let's just say the Webbot report comes out first week of February. We're halfway through January now. It would make sense for if he put it out then, and my name was in it, when you read it, it would be referring to right now 2 weeks ago. Follow me? So The only bracketed words, which are the words that are the actual keywords in the report, reference to you in the immediate past as having narrowly missed a nasty accident. There's only 2 words. And then he says in your work with the little hyphen. But that's not a bracketed WebBot report word. So that could be him filling in like he does to make the report make sense. Because as you read the WebBot reports, you will see the actual keywords in the report as he's writing them. He keeps the brackets so you can follow where the bracketed words are. And then he adds sentences to them so it makes sense as he goes through the data. So I don't see why he wouldn't do that here. It looks exactly the same. So he did say, though, in your work. Didn't say anything else. So I sent him an email back like, well, me as in JSNP4 or me as in Joseph or Joe, my last name. Work as an accident, work-related injury, or something else, And he says, their name came through as a combination of 2 sets. Joe, short for Joseph, and Joseph is my real name. I just always go by Joe. I just don't like Joseph. And my last name, which has meanings in both Greek and Turkish, and came through that way. So the 2 formed proper names, and it was matched against your YouTube name by my spiders. Thus, I saw it in the data, model space data. The supporting data set says you don't get smacked, but close enough to have some comment on it. Work related is all I got. Interpretation is a bitch. Sorry to alarm. Again, there's hardly any data, so it's hard to interpret what he's saying. But felt I had to pass it along as we correspond. So calm, breathe. This is just an awareness thing. So I started thinking, well, if I'm going to talk about this later in the week, and this was Sunday. First, let me back up here. Saturday was the first time. Both of those emails I just read you were Saturday. That just passed. So that would have been 1/11/2004, the 11th of January. Here we are on the 17th. And if I'm supposed to talk about this later in the week, that's right now, Thursday and Friday. Now, of course, I already know I'm supposed to talk about this because he said I was going to. So, yeah, I could come out and just do this video just for that purpose. But as I said before, I plan on letting people know how my surgery and stuff went later this week after it was done. I've already said that. So, I was thinking this whole week, I sit behind a computer at a desk in my own office. What in the hell kind of work-related injury could I possibly get involved in at work? It's just my work isn't like, no one's work in my office is like physical, things can move and hurt people. It's a call, basically like a call center environment. People in cubicles, and for God's sakes, what could happen? So I went in the next day, on that Monday, I'm looking around my office like, let me look at these big batteries we have for our backup system for the computer servers. Make sure none of these batteries are getting puffed up and ready to freaking explode behind me or something, So I'm looking at them, they look perfect, Just thinking, who knows what could be. And then I think by Tuesday, I don't know, or maybe it was later that day, Monday, I'm trying to put in the pieces. What else could it be? And then it dawned on me. Is that the trash can? Yep. It dawned on me that something had happened, kind of work-related, in 2009. And I mentioned this, but I'm going to go into detail. In 2009, I was running on a treadmill, trying to get myself cardio, mainly in shape, to run 1.5 miles or 1.25 miles. I forget what the distance was, within, I think, 15 or 16 minutes. And I was doing this because I was thinking about joining the sheriff's office locally here. Again, I know you see a lot of brutality videos on YouTube, but this is a sheriff's office that I recommend. This is a very good. Hillsborough County has a great sheriff's department. So I feel very comfortable not seeing people getting beat for no reason, things like that. It's a good place. So I was thinking about joining the reserve, which is a volunteer position. You are a deputy who rides along with another deputy. You basically are you're partnered up with somebody, but you have full police rights, law, enforcement, whatever, as long as you're with that particular or any deputy with you. And you go through the academy the same way they do. It's just a 4-month academy instead of the full 6-month academy. And you do it after hours. Whereas they're doing it full time, you're doing it at nights for a couple, 2-3 hours, and then all day Saturday for 4 months. So I thought, I might want to get into this. So I went and decided I seen what the criteria is. I've got to run 1.5 miles or whatever this amount of time. I've got to do a sprint this amount of time. X number of sit-ups and push-ups. Okay, let me just make sure I'm in shape. So I started doing the running, the push-ups and sit-ups. All that was nothing. It was the mile, even the sprint. I got the sprint down. It's the mile that I needed to work on to get it done in time, or 1.5 miles. So I'm not killing myself. I'm just trying to put the treadmill to see how long it takes me to run that mile, and I need to get it down. So that was the whole purpose of me going to the YMCA with my wife and stuff, and she's doing her little yoga stuff, and I'm on the treadmill working on my cardio. And we're doing this for 2 or 3 weeks, and I get out of my car. So in other words, work-related thing. Even though I'm a volunteer position, if I go for the sheriff's office, it's still considered work-related, you could say. So the funny thing is that after that week or 2 or 3 weeks, I was just doing what I do every day: go to bed, wake up, go to work. And as I was getting out of my car, walking across the parking lot, almost to the door of my job, my real job, boom, and just took a step. I can't remember if I heard a little pop or if I just felt it. I can't remember. I almost feel like I just felt it hit, like boom. And I was like, ooh, my foot. Started limping instantly. That right behind that toe, that area, bam. Man, it hurt. Limping for a few days. I'm like, I didn't trip. I didn't misstep, put my foot. I was just walking. Man, what the hell is this? I just thought I'll just go easy. So I used thinking crutches for a couple days. And then I limped into work. And again, I'm sitting behind the office, so my foot's resting. And every time I get in the car, even though it's my left foot, the fact that the shoe is just barely even squeezing your foot was enough to cause some pretty bad pain. So I would drive with my left shoe off, completely off, even though I don't use it, thank God, for driving. But it still killed me. It was really hurting. And then it started subsiding. Okay, it's getting better. And then it would flare up later on. Then it would come back. So this happened for a while. I started getting the shots. That worked for a little while. Then it would come back. Here we are in 2014, finally getting the surgery done. I had the surgery scheduled back in December for January the 16th, which was yesterday. I haven't really told in detail anybody about this, especially not Cliff Hyatt, the Webbot report guy, whatever. So here it is, the week where he talks about a work-related injury, where you could see, technically, I was in the work parking lot going into the door and got injured on my foot. It wasn't my work's problem. It was my own problem. But nonetheless, is it bad to say he called this a work-related accident? But he does say it was narrowly missed. Nothing came of it. So that's where I say, well, okay, whatever that means. So here it is. Time's clicking, ticking down. And I went and got the blood work that the foot surgeon told me to get. They said, you got to get this blood work right here, and then you got to get an EKG and clearance from your primary care doctor that everything's okay. Okay, so I see a blood place right down the street, inexpensive, and I'm here to get a blood test. Get the blood test, and the results come back. So I can't get into my primary doctor for over a week. Finally, which was this Monday, I go in Monday for them to clear me, and they've got the blood work from the other place I went to, and she's like, man, your sugar's way too high, your whatever this is too high, liver function's too high, you got, I can't clear you with this, especially the sugar being that high. That's the big one. I'm like, damn. She's like, when did you do the test? I was like, about a week ago. Yeah, but what time? I said, I just got off work and I went right over there. So she's like, oh, you didn't fast? You just ate lunch that day and breakfast and all that and then went a few hours later? Well, yeah. Oh, you can't do that. You have to fast the night before. You go to bed, you eat dinner, and then, you're not eating for 12 hours or whatever it is, 8 to 12 hours. It's 8 really is what you need. Any longer is okay. Then you get the blood work in the morning. And don't eat breakfast in the morning either. Just go get the blood test. That's why these are all high. You just got done eating a little while ago. Oh, so she's like, you need to get this done urgently. When you wake up tomorrow morning, go get it done. That'll be Tuesday. I'll schedule you back here Wednesday, see what the numbers look like, and then hopefully clear you for tomorrow morning, the next morning, Thursday. So I narrowly missed not even getting the surgery done because of my stupid blood work. And I'm like, oh man, what if it comes back crappy again? I'm not the greatest eater. I try to watch what I eat, but I know I'm not perfect. So I'm like, damn. So I told the wife, I was like, yeah. And I was like, by the way, the last time I got a blood test, just for the hell of it, when you went, I did the same thing. Like, I just got done eating lunch, literally, and then we went over there, remember? She's like, yeah. So I was like, well, let's see what happens when I do it the right way. So Tuesday came, they got the blood work, they sent it off to the doctor. Wednesday came, go back to the doctor. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Wednesday. My surgery's ready for 6 o'clock in the morning the next day. So if anything goes wrong, the surgery is off. And I get in there, my normal blood sugar, or glucose as they call it, was like 61 to 99 or 97 or something like that. And mine came out at 102. So it was just a smidgen higher than normal. But she's like, well, last time it was 126 or 129. You're only 102. That's okay. Basically, we've narrowly got you passed. So, okay, good. But every other piece of my blood work came back good, like in the margin. So my sugar was just a hair higher than normal. So I narrowly got this surgery to happen. I barely squeaked it in last minute, and then it went through very well. So it's odd because it says I narrowly missed a nasty accident, when in reality, I narrowly missed not having the surgery based on an accident that I did have technically at the workplace, however you want to look at it, because I was doing it for the sheriff's office. That's kind of a workplace if I do that, even though it's volunteer, same thing. And then walking into my job workplace, I hurt myself. So I see this, the WebBot, and it doesn't bother me that it wasn't perfect, but it makes sense to me now that it's happened and all that. And this first time, I don't know if anyone's ever gotten their own personal name come up in the WebBot report that he emailed them to say, hey, you're in it. So good news is my foot apparently right now is doing very well, and I just want to keep you up to date and then give you the full message of the emails so that you can kind of take it for what it is. Take it with a grain of salt, whatever. So that's all I got for you. Thanks for those of you who cared about old Jason before getting through this. Appreciate it.